like and subscribe. And if you've made it this far, comment what you liked or look forward to. And by the way, tell me about yourself. Stay frosty. 3, 2, 1. Hey, welcome to the Machete. I'm your host, Vlad, and this is my bedroom. So anyway, what are we doing here? Well, we are having nicotine and we are having coffee. Oh yeah, that coffee, delish. Anyway, we're here while you're on your trek to school, while you're on battling beasts on your way to work, or whether you're just passing the time listening to my voice. I wanted to make this first episode about the Machete to give you all a little sneak peek of what I'm doing, what we're doing here at the Machete. By we, I mean me. You know, we're an outlet. We're I don't want to say news outlet. We're more of a hobbyist outlet. More of a here in reporting from a garage. Kind of like rogue radio. But nowadays it's just podcasts, which I think are awesome. So this is my rogue radio podcast. This is my shout into the aether. This is my grabbing what is mine and talking about it. Yeah, just my point of view on everything scuffed, everything weird, everything that means something to somebody or means nothing to nobody. I'm gonna talk about it. Why? Why not? Why can't I find my voice in doing this, and maybe one of you find your voice through me? So who am I? Who is this Vlad of the Machete? Who is this Vlad character? Who's this guy in green? Who's this guy drinking coffee and vaping while I drive to work? You might ask yourself. Well, before I do that, I got to do a wrist check because there's one thing I love, and that's horology. And let me tell you what, the study of time and timekeepers and timepieces. Anyway, wrist check. Here you go for you audio listeners. You watching YouTube get to see this for yourselves. Here we go. Alrighty. So we got here is a GD 350 on a green single pass NATO strap. Just look at that bad boy. Look at it. Just look at it. Doesn't it go good with like my shirt and my outfit? Don't make me look tough. Like I'm ready to take on a chimera. Don't get me started on the chimera wars that the Swiss and me had to fight back in the day. That's where I earned my knife. Anyway. So there's the wrist check. Little G-Shock GD350. Yeah. Show me what's yours in the comments, would you? Anyway. Back to this. So who is Vlad? Well, long story short, he's a punk, ex-biker, bikey for you Australian folks, ex-drug addict, and current healthcare worker. Weird combination. So weird. Oh yeah, and he's a nerd. He's a huge nerd. I mean, look at my buddy Charizard right here. Yeah, it's Charizard for all you people listening. On a jacket. Yeah. Who else would get that with this many tattoos, huh? I don't know. Other nerds. That's who. Don't think about it too hard. Anyway, back to that. Anyway, so that gives me like a wide range and like a wide storyboard to work from. Like my comic of life, my story arc of life is weird and jagged. And if you're just tuning into it, man, you're at an exciting spot. Because like I found like some peace enough to talk about it. Peace enough to talk about the stuff that's happened to me, the stuff that I see happen to others, the stuff about life, and put a little comedic flair, just a little whoopsie daisy on the bullet spin that goes through all of our craniums as we see what the heck is going on around us. I'm gonna try to keep this podcast PG. Gonna try, maybe PG-13. Might slip into damn from here or there. But other than that, PG-13. Some of my motifs and some of my subject matter, though, might be a little more adult. Because I want to get into some like gnarly subjects, some really good subjects, something to give you something to listen to as you're commuting, or whether you're sitting there, or whether you're trying to find your own voice. Because that would be awesome if my voice helped one of you find your voice, to where you went to the aetherways and you put your words out there, and you put your thoughts and your mind and your comings and goings and whatever it is. If me doing this and being a goofball while doing it can make one of you find your voice, oh my gosh. Then there's two of us with our voices out there talking to the world and the world listening. Wouldn't that be some, huh? Yeah, but anyway, back to me. So anyway, um, little short story. I'm not gonna go into too detail on this. I'm gonna like tell you, but I'm not gonna like go into like too much detail about because it's gonna be for a later episode, right? Because I gotta have material, right? Otherwise, it'll just be one episode of me talking and y'all listening, and then that would be it. What kind of series would that be? I want this to be a series, a weekly series. Let's make it Wednesday. W starts with weekly. W starts with Wednesday. Weekly Wednesday. Tune in Wednesdays. Anyway, so where was I? Oh yeah. So I started off as a small child, and small children go. I had loving grandparents, loving grandparents, loving parents, loving parents. Um, some stuff went down, made me not so lovey. Okay, future episode. Um, hmm. Then I stretched out on my own. No. Hiked out on my own. No. What's the word? Words are hard sometimes, guys. I sauntered out on my own. Yeah, we're gonna use sauntered. I sauntered out on my own at a very young age. Moved in with a farming family, so the farming community, big whoops. Whoop. Sauntered out lived with a farming family. They were phenomenal, just phenomenal. Coffee break, vape break, but they were phenomenal. So so I lived with them for a minute. They taught me like hardworking skills and manly skills, like when meat is back on the menu, boys. Like manly skills, you know. I mean, I didn't wasn't this big back then, but they made me feel like this big, you know. Then what I do? Oh, and then my 20s, because your boy's in his 30s. Okay, it's 20s. Vlad, the host of Machete. The only reason why I'm hosting this, the king turd sitting on top of the toilet that you are currently flushing. Me, in his 20s, started getting addicted to drugs and gangs. What we started doing. Um, another story. Going to touch on a little bit here. Just massive amounts of of bad substances in my life. Both illegal and women. Yeah, just horrid. But some good ones. Like I made some good memories. There's some good people, and probably some of them are listening right now. And I love you guys. Love all of you. But dang, did I make some bad decisions back then. Woo! Man, hindsight is 2020, but stings. Like they forget to tell you, it feels like you just looked at the sun for 5 minutes. Guys. Anyway, and then also in my 20s, I found out I was like really good at some things. And some of those things was like making sure other people were good, like either they were being good or they were safe, and other people around them were being good. Like, and that's when I became a biker. And as a biker, like they had me like enforce rules and regulations and stuff. Yeah, me like at like 24, 25, like I'm just like carrying my knives and carrying stuff around. I'm like, hey, you don't do that. Hey, you do that. Hey, we're tough. Let's drink. Glug, 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 glug. You know. Another story for that later. Bikers, love them. Love them to death. Actually taught me a lot. Taught me a lot about brotherhood. Like I got brother tattooed on the side of my head. You know. Like brotherhood means something to me. And I think that sense of brotherhood can be used for the world, can be pushed forward. So I want like a whole segment on brotherhood and just what it like. I'm gonna break down the word brotherhood and like what it means and what it means to me and what I think it means to the world. Like I think it'd be like a great episode and throw in some of my biker stories, like the ones that like I don't name places or names, you know, because who wants to know all the facts? Let's just hear a good dang story, right? Yeah. So like brotherhood was huge. Brotherhood was amazing, and we got to ride motorcycles when we did it. You know, it was pretty cool, and they kept me out of a lot of trouble, and they taught me responsibilities, taught me that, and I loved it. I loved the responsibilities. I loved the biking. I loved it all, until I got diagnosed with schizophrenia. This is another talk for me too. Another episode idea. Look at these. They're just coming one right after another. Do I do them in order? Do I do them in a weird way? Do I make you wait? Do I put a poll up? I don't know. But anyway, mental health is a big concern of mine. Big concern of mine. Huge concern of mine. Because I, Vlad, the host of Machete, suffer from schizoaffective disorder. I am a schizophrenic. I'm basically like the Joker from Batman, except fat, and I ain't got no henchmen, and I don't commit a lot of crimes, and I don't have a comic series about me, and and I don't have a Harley Quinn. Let's take a moment of silence for the machete and not having machetes. Machete yes, machete or machete ah, a machete ah. Let's be my machete, right? Who knows? Anyway, all right, back to this. Enough of the silence. Enough of the silence. So, where was I? Oh yeah, they taught me a lot of stuff. They taught me how to be a man. Oh yeah, yeah. Sorry. Brain does brain things. Doesn't learn too often. Doesn't do too good actually sometimes. Anyway, so became schizophrenic. Got diagnosed with schizophrenia. I actually committed it I actually almost harmed, like severely almost harmed another family, like in my schizophrenia. But that'll be for a whole another episode of a car crash that I got into that was induced with my schizophrenia, and like how that like launched me into like finding health over the next like 10 years. Like, cause man, has it been weird up in my brain. Like it's just been like ooh, ooh, ooh. When the demons speak, you listen. No, you don't. You don't do that. But that's what your brain wants you to do. So don't listen to the demons. Don't do it. See a doctor. See a priest. Become a crime fighter. Start a podcast. Yeah. Anyway, schizophrenic. And then the love of my life. Ooh, we're gonna have to talk about Angel sometime in grief because her memory will live on. She was like my best friend for like 15 years, and then we were like together, and then like she like that's a whole other story. And then anyway, she died. She died. That capitulated. We're gonna use capitulated. That capitulated me into my addiction. Yeah, everything I had been doing, okay, but like maintaining the status quo, mind you. Now I didn't care about the status quo. The status quo was, hey man, if we're awake, we got emotions. Real men don't cry. Real men don't cry, damn. So you gotta stuff them. You gotta stuff them. So you gotta put stuff on top of them to stuff them. So the stuff goes stuffed down, but then you gotta stuff the stuffing so more stuff doesn't come out of the stuffing. Cause real men don't cry, right? Yeah, real men can't cry about their love of their life dying. Losers. Anyway, she died. I went on like a 2 year bender. Pew! Looking for fighting and glory and death. What I wanted was death. Just lots of death. You know, mind you, this whole time I've been telling this story, I've been practicing Nordic polytheist, Nordic pagan. I've been following Odinism and Asatru, whichever word you want to do. Like I like Nordic polytheist when you look at it because like I follow the pantheon of gods without the extra added layers of like stuff that I feel like holds back that group of people and that society of people from like being maintained or like being taken like non-war like murderously by the rest of society. Some of those, you know who you are, you corner cases, okay? Because every religion has those guys that take whatever it is that the religion is about and just like crank it to 11 and then for some reason commit atrocities and crimes and just can't live with other people, man. You just can't. They get put in little camps with other little people in little camps, and they all have their own little wars in these little camps behind these walls. And it's just hard. My guys. Learn to temper your swords and your battle lust. Jeez. Anyway, sorry, that was an aside for another time. Nordic polytheism, Masatru, Odinism, whatever. Followed that forever. So I thought she was like in Valhalla, or I thought she was in one of the other gods' great halls, right? I was like, I gotta see my woman. So I'm gonna drink, and I'm gonna go to biker bars, and I'm gonna go everywhere else, and I'm gonna use my brain that knows enough about enough to piss enough people off, so I get enough people to want to kill me that'll eventually kill me. So that's what I did. Mind you, they would only beat me up. People aren't willing to commit as many crimes as maybe you think they are, no matter how tough they look or where they're at or who they are. You know. say enough things and get enough people riled up, sure, you get 3, 4 of them to beat you up, and you keep standing up, and they're like, Vlad, why do you keep standing up? And you're like, just kill me. And they won't. They're like, no, Vlad, stay down. And you're like, no. And then you stand up one time, and they quit hitting you, and like one of them's got an onlooker's got tears in their eyes, and you walk to your mom's house, and you fall, and you've been falling down because they've been punching you. You walk to your mom's house, and she sees you when she opens the door at 2:00 in the morning, and she's like, "Oh my God, are you drunk? Yes. What have you been doing? Falling? Yes, of course. Because that's what's going on. Not the concussions I have right now. Don't worry, Mom. I need to sleep on your couch, please, because I can't drive home." And then you still don't recognize you have a problem. Well, you leave that story about how, Vlad, host of the Hatchet, found out he had a problem because it wasn't his friends. No. It wasn't his mind. No. It was something otherworldly. Like, this is a story of a guy that does 12-step programs now, because I do 12-step programming, key to life, whose higher power downloaded him information to change his life. I had a vision. We'll leave that vision story for another episode on how Vlad found spirituality. Because you think I would have had it by now, right? Wrong. No, not happening. Never had it. Not until quite recently, last year, 2 years, something like that. See, what I had was rigidosity, and rigidosity is not spirituality. And what I mean by rigidosity, I mean it's like the velocity of the religious sects that were in my brain all going the same way. Rigidosity, the power of religious formulation. That's what rigidosity is. And we just made up that word, rigidosity. Why? Because I have a brain and I like making up words. Why? Because sometimes my words mean more than other words. So if I get everyone to say rigidosity, thank you, and use rigidosity whenever you're thinking like of like a religious term or like the forefront of like the movement of like a culture's religion and like the foundings of like its intent, rigidosity, and all the stuff that goes along with it. So the rigidosity that was in my brain, that wasn't spirituality. And this podcast, might be kind of spiritual. Now, if people like took my words and like started a group over it, that would be rigidosity. We're talking about these formulations and talking about these thoughts and talking about this history is a spiritual in nature. Can I get a in chat? Thank you. So yeah, rigidosity. So then that seeking death, and then that key moment where I like turned the corner. It was like, I need help. So I went and sought help. And it's been a long, almost 2 years. It'll be 2 years in September. This is airing July 30th, 2024. In September of 2024, I will have 2 years clean and sober. Nothing except caffeine and nicotine, which I'm not even that hardcore because I still have this, and I still have coffee. So I'm not even that hardcore. Actually, don't applaud me for 2 years because I'm actually not even that hardcore when it comes to giving up everything. All right, I'm not even that spiritual. Okay, I still have nicotine and coffee. I hear you, old heads back there. I hear you back there. You have been heard. I need to give it up too. I'm in pre-contemplation phase. Just to let you know. Anyway, that's for all my people listening that don't want me to know they're listening. Yeah. Put it in the comment if you're part of a 12-step program. Just say, anyway, where was I? So yeah, found that. Found some pretty cool friends in this newfound recovery. I started living, I still live, as you can tell, good old bunk bed, with my Charizard. Boop, 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 boop. Found a really good program that like took me in and like loved me. And remember, I saw the rigidosity of being a Nordic pagan, a Viking soldier on the battlefields of Earth, like waiting for death. Well, that's what I was. And this faith-based program, who I'm not mentioning, unless they want me to, I don't know, support the program, I'll shout them out then. Anyway, change my life. I'm doing that for legal reasons. I don't know if they want to be tied up with this mess, whatever this is, this little love child of mine that we're doing right now with the rigidosity and Charizard and the bunk bed and stuff. I don't know who wants to be tied to that. I don't know who wants to listen to that, but I'm glad one of you is. Anyway, so part of this faith-based program, and they accepted me with my rigidosity being Nordic pagan and they accepted me with my heartbreak and my woman dead, and like not having a dog, and not my truck not running. Like I am a country song wrapped in a rap style world, like petitioned to the dead Greek gods. Sorry, that wasn't meant to offend anyone who's a believer in the Greek faith anymore. That was just an over. I do a lot of pageantry. It's part of my originality. Anyway, so yeah, found this program. Worked on a bunch of stuff. Um, Found my higher power. Like my higher power had been like in contact with me before, but then like I found it, him, that it, them, they, he, the 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 power that governs my life. It's weird unless you're in a 12-step program, you just wouldn't understand it. Even you Christian heads, and even you Muslim heads, and even you Buddhist heads, none of you gonna understand these terminologies except the spiritual people in the room and the 12 steppers, because the 12 steppers know the spirituality. They don't have the religiosity; they got the spirituality. Anyway, we can go about that in the difference between spirituality and religiosity another time. Because I got a lot of I got some spirituality and a lot of religiosity. Anyway, um, so and then we come to the podcast. Oh yeah, I'm in the healthcare field because I thought, now that I'm, loving life, because I do love life now. We'll do that whole episode on how I found spirituality and how like it's like changed my life and everything else, and for like put me on the battlefield to give the enemy a black eye, to fight against the darkness of this that does want to consume mankind. I am strong like bear. I have been through the mud, and I am here for war. And the war I fight is the war on the mind. I help now pull up my fellow man and try to inject into their brain waves, their patterns, if you will, some hope, some experience, some strength, and some good wordplay to get around whatever little hurts and hurdles and walls they have up, you know? Because we come up with words like religiosity and, spirituality and anything else I want to, right? Like, just do things with this, and it reaches hearts. And it feels so good, because it speaks to that part of me that lost Andrea, and that also lost himself, and then everybody else on the way, and then everything else. So we'll talk about Papa, my spirituality, because I call my higher power Papa, of course, and how like I'm a Nordic pagan who found Papa at a Christian event, but like he is so much bigger than just Christians. Like if he told me Christians had it wrong, I would follow Papa to the ends of chaos itself. Why? Because I am like a paladin from D&D 3.5 edition. I'm like an oath-sworn paladin that is just fighting against the darkness, fighting against enemies, helping people out, and keeping my oath. And my oath is not to put one in me. So, this is me sober. Imagine me buggered up, right? Shoot! Anyway, back to this. This is the machete. Oh, why did I call it the machete? Well, machetes are cutting implements, right? And they like hack through jungles, but they're like looked at as like really, really barbaric and really, really like savage, right? And that's basically me. I'm just a dressed up savage going through the jungle of life, like hacking away and showing you where the paths are at. Like I'm a machete. Like I'm that guy. I'm the tool of that guy that's not real pretty, not real fancy. But shoot, in the jungle, you want a machete. So if you're going through the jungle of life, and you're going through it, and you find my voice, you find my antics, you find my coffee drinking, you know? If you like the coffee drinking, if you like the vaping on camera, like I probably shouldn't do that for YouTube, but, I did it. If you like all this and the jokes I have, well, I didn't really tell jokes. I'm just a goofy guy, I guess, goofy goober. If you like Charizard, hit a subscribe, throw in a comment your favorite Pokemon that's not Charizard. Charizard's already taken by everybody else who's basic. All right, don't be basic, do better. Anyway, this is Vlad with Machete. Oh, and I like watches. If you couldn't tell. Vlad with Machete. I'm going to release these once a week. This week you're getting 2. I said, what? 2. You're getting 2. You're getting one today, this one. And you're getting a second one tomorrow. And on this show, I almost forgot the main point. Almost like pitched the end. Oh, see what I did there? Anyway, this show is going to be about the weird, the weird, the non-mundane. Sometimes the mundane, because the mundane can be weird too. But the weird, the those parts in your soul that like hurt when you touch them, and when you look at them, you're like, ooh, don't look. Like I'm going to talk about that stuff within myself, so you can use me as a case study on how to either do it the right way, because I'm going to mess it up, or you'd be like, oh look, he did it. Why can't I look inward? So I'm going to do that about myself, about society, and I'm going to throw in like nerd stuff, like I got off screen right here. I got a bunch. This isn't a plug. They don't sponsor, but I got a bunch of One Piece cards. We're gonna talk about nerd stuff, okay? We're gonna talk about life, the universe, nerd stuff. We're gonna talk about everything. I might have some guests on here. If any of you would like to be a guest and would like to come up with a topic and have me talk about it, and you be the sane one, and I'll be the machete. I'll be the one cutting down the trees, looking for lions, and you tell me what it looks like when I do that. And we can go back and forth. You can bring up something, one of your hurts or hang-ups, or you can bring up something that's meaningful to you, and you can listen to me, what my thoughts on it. You want to do that? Hit me up in the comments, send me an email, do something, because this show is going to be awesome. Even if it's just me talking to myself, I'm talking to you. Like, it's going to be cool. Like, I'm just going to talk about everything, the weird, the unmundane. Say that a bunch of times and tell me you're not like an evil villain, right? I am unmundane. The unmundane, so that's not the mundane. The weird, the squiggly in the brain, the things that make you hoot and holler, and some of the things that you don't want to talk about. There's things about us humans. We're curious, and we're either curious enough to talk about it, or we're curious enough to be like, I don't want nothing to do with that. So if I lose you along the way, and you're like, oh, this isn't for me, Vlad, from the Machete, you and your AAA Productions, like it's okay, my guys. I'm gonna lose people on the bus. We're gonna lose them. I just hope you come back. I hope you stay a while, because I want to have my voice out there. I want my voice to be a springboard for your guys' voices, your guys' ideas. Because if this, and I'm pointing to myself for all you just listening, can do this, can find his voice, then each one of you can too. Just let me be the machete, and let me trailblaze the path ahead. When you want to off branch and go your separate ways, go ahead, but come back and say hello. Anyway, Frosty fam, stay frosty, and remember, ooh la la. Boom.